This is the Giants Postcast, your instant game reaction for the San Francisco Giants, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Yo, what's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Locked On Giants Postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. You may know me as the former producer for the Murph and Mac Morning Show on KMBR, or maybe from some of these other Locked On Sports postcasts we do. We also do Locked On Warriors and Locked On 49ers postcasts as well. But today, the Giants have now won 7 games in a row after another comeback win over the Colorado Rockies at Coors Field. And entering the 8th inning, they were trailing by 3 runs, and the Giants erupted for 7 runs in the final 2 innings for a 10-7 victory. And again, Willy Adames had a great day at the dish. Mike Yastrzemski delivered a huge clutch hit late in the game, and we had contributions all over the place. Casey Schmidt played a hell of a third base and had some great at-bats. We will break it all down, but first, I want to thank all of you for watching us on the Locked On Giants YouTube channel. Please, if you aren't already subscribed, hit that subscribe button right now. Thanks also for listening on the Locked On Giants podcast feed. However you're tuning in, we appreciate it. Make sure to check out the Locked On Giants Daily Show for more in-depth coverage. My guy, Ben Kaspick, always does a great job. And this one, the Giants started it off very nicely by jumping out to a 2-0 lead after a Willy Adames 2-run blast in that first inning. And when I say a blast, it was a blast, man. He got all of that one, 452 feet, 106 miles an hour off the bat. This was probably Willy Adames' best swing of the entire season. I know it's Coors Field, but 452 feet, 106 miles an hour off the bat translates to a home run in any park in Major League Baseball. An expected batting average on that of, by the way, 1,000. But really, this one was very, very interesting in that 8th inning because, as I said, the Giants entered that inning trailing by 3 runs, and then all pandemonium broke loose for the Giants in the best possible way. They started it off with none other than a Willy Adames single on a line drive to center field. And this guy, Willy Adames, had a phenomenal day. 3 hits, 3 RBIs, 3 runs, a great day at the dish for Willy Adames. This was, in my opinion, his best day at the plate of the entire season. And then after he had that leadoff single, you had an Elliot Ramos single. Wilmer Flores then struck out, but then Dom Smith singled, and you now have the bases loaded with Casey Schmidt in the box. And Casey Schmidt, he worked a hell of a walk, an 8-pitch at bat, fouling off 4 different pitches in that at bat. And he's seeing breaking ball after breaking ball after breaking ball. The first 7 pitches, all breaking balls. The last one, a fastball, and he laid off of it out of the zone. Credit Casey Schmidt for being able to adjust and stay locked in and not chase that fastball. It wasn't the closest pitch in the world, but a free swinger like Casey Schmidt, we got to recognize this because this is a guy who will swing at a ball in the dirt like 5 out of 6 times, like this guy, or maybe 5 out of 10 times. Let's be nice. Casey Schmidt, he's a free swinger up at the plate, kind of like Vlad Guerrero, except he makes a lot less contact than Vlad Guerrero used to. So Casey Schmidt works a huge walk, and RBI walk, makes the score 6-4. And then up comes Mike Yastrzemski with the bases loaded, and Mikey Yaz doubles on a fly ball that's off the wall in center field. And my God, Mike Yastrzemski is just on a terror right now. This guy, he must have been listening to all that chatter of everyone saying, maybe we should move on from Mike Yastrzemski in right field. Maybe the Giants should go out and make a trade for somebody. Maybe the Giants should kick the tires on a Grant McCray or bring back Luis Matos and see what they got there. And all Mike Yastrzemski's done in the last 3 games is have huge late game RBIs. 3 on 1 swing of the bat in this one. He was on base twice, had 2 hits in this one, and that double. Mike Yastrzemski, he does just enough at the dish to make you continue to believe that he can be a contributor, and you'll kind of accept those slumps that he has throughout the season. I still think that he would be best suited as a 4th outfielder in an ideal situation, so that when he is slumping, you can sit him down and you can use him sparingly in moments where his splits, righty lefty splits are not very good. You want to see him against right-handers. You really don't want him in the lineup against lefties. But Mike Yastrzemski has that batting average slowly climbing back up. It's at 239. It's a little more respectable than it was earlier this month, 708 OPS. But the most importantly, it's the late game RBIs that are huge for Mike Yastrzemski. He was really struggling with runners in scoring position until Sunday's game. And then all of a sudden since then, he has gone on an absolute terror. And that fly ball, it scored two on that play. And then a sac bunt to put the Giants ahead. Tyler Fitzgerald was the guy who laid it down. Casey Schmidt scored. Great inning from the Giants. But they weren't done there, because in the top of the ninth, Jung-Hoo Lee worked a leadoff walk. Willy Adames doubled, and then Elliot Ramos worked a walk, and Wilmer Flores then steps into the plate. He wanted some RBI action today too. He's the Giants' leading RBI man, so he decided he needed to get in on the Coors Field action. Sac fly puts the Giants ahead by 2 runs, and then Casey Schmidt again delivers in this late game, puts them up 9-6 with a single that squeaked by into left field. And then again, Mike Yastrzemski with another late inning RBI comes up with his third RBI of the game, scores the Giants' 10th run of the game. And man, this one, they needed kind of all those runs. It got a little sketchy there in that bottom of the ninth inning as Camilo Duvall walked a guy. He gave up a home run, gave up a couple more hits, but eventually he worked out of it. And the Giants went home happy after this one. And before we go any further, we got to talk about today's turning point.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
And the turning point in this one for me was that Casey Schmidt walk, because that it kind of lifted the heavy pressure that I felt like was on the Giants. Yeah, you still had Mike Yastrzemski coming up next, and you were kind of biting your nails on that one for sure. But Casey Schmidt, I mean, in a situation where he's fallen behind in the count early, and you got this free swinger up there at the plate, for him to be able to work that walk, that was maybe the single biggest walk of the season. Tyler Fitzgerald had a very similar walk in last night's game, where Dave Fleming called it perhaps the best at bat of Tyler Fitzgerald's year so far. We're not going to go that far, and we're not going to say that about Casey Schmidt's walk either, but it was a very, very, very key moment in this game. It ended up it scored a run. It was an RBI walk, and also put him in position to score the go-ahead run, which he eventually did later in that inning. So Casey Schmidt in his walk is the turning point for today's game in the top of the 8th. But man, I mean, this one was just wild. And I mean, seeing Willy Adames come up with those 3 hits, I think we got to go ahead. And even though Mike Yastrzemski came up with the big one late in this one, I still think we got to give today's player of the game to Willy Adames.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
And Willy was the only guy with 3 hits today in the lineup. He had 3 RBI as well, same as Mike Yastrzemski. He also scored 3 runs. So Willy Adames contributing on the base paths with the bat. He had a sac fly in that, when was that? In the 3rd inning, after he led off the 1st inning with that 2-run home run. And the Giants are rolling right now, man. And I think that's what you're going to be talking about after this one.
This is what you'll be talking about.
And what I think you'll be talking about is this devil magic isn't going away, man. If you've been listening to the show, you know we've coined this, the Giants' late game heroics, their late game seemingly great breaks that they continuously get. We're coining it devil magic. We didn't coin it, that Barstool Sports did. We stole it because it's funny. But the devil magic isn't going away, man. This is a real thing at this point. The Giants' 20th comeback win of the season. They've had more comeback wins in this month than any other team in baseball. And it looks like they believe. I mean, Bob Melvin, even post-game, was just saying that he knows that once they start to get runners on base, everybody on this team starts to believe. And none of them really think that they're out of these games. I mean, it's Coors Field. You were entering that 8th inning down 3, and you heard Dave Fleming give them the Buster Posey. You heard him say, all right, it's time to go. And the Giants, go they went, man. I mean, they scored 7 runs in those final 2 innings. And by the way, since Buster Posey told Alex Pavlovich it's time to go, Giants are undefeated, man. 7 wins in a row. It's been a week since he said that, and the Giants have not lost. This team isn't cooling off, and this is perfect because if they come up with a win tomorrow, which I'm kind of expecting that they do at this point, it is a short rest and maybe being up there in the altitude that might play into some things. But if the Giants are able to win tomorrow and go into that Dodgers series riding an 8-game win streak with the offense producing how it is, I think you got to have a lot of confidence in yourself going into that, because I mean, that's also going to be a huge series because the Giants are going to have the opportunity to take the lead in the National League West most likely during that series. They're a half game back of the Dodgers right now because the Dodgers won earlier today, and the Giants are now second in the National League West because they climb over the Padres because the Padres lost earlier today. So, I mean, the Giants are in a great position right now to continue this run, continue this win streak tomorrow, and then take all of that momentum and push it into that Dodgers series. And I'm looking at the schedule going ahead after that Dodgers series because that Dodgers series has been on my mind for a while. It's kind of like a bookmark, like a huge point in the season that the Giants need to go into playing good baseball. And if they can come out of that series, let's just say for argument's sake, they win that series 2-1, which would be an absolute miracle down there in LA. You will have Webb, Roop, and Harrison likely pitching those games, and you're likely going to see Senzatella, Yamamoto, and Kershaw Senzatella is tomorrow, excuse me, for the Rockies. Yamamoto, Kershaw, and Dustin May for the Los Angeles Dodgers. It's going to be a tough series to win, obviously, but if they're able to do that, you got Cleveland next to, they're playing about 500 baseball. It's a winnable series. Then you play Boston. Boston's been struggling lately, and you're at home. That's a winnable series. Then you play the Marlins at home, another winnable series. Then you go play the Chicago White Sox, another winnable series. And after that, I mean, you got the Diamondbacks, who have been playing about 500 ball, and the A's, who have been very bad this season to nobody's surprise. You don't really play anybody of note during that stretch until July when you play the Phillies. And I mean, that's a long ways away, but the Giants have a real opportunity here. If they win this series against the Dodgers and take the lead in the NL West, they can really balloon that lead over the next couple of weeks, depending on how they play against these other opponents that they really should be beating. I mean, this team is on a roll right now at the perfect time of the season. And I think that's what you're going to be talking about after this one. Don't go anywhere. We got a ton to break down on the other side. We haven't even begun to talk about Robbie Ray's day on the mound or the rest of this bullpen. It was a little bit sketchy out there, but it is Coors Field. We'll get into all of it next on the Locked On Giants postcast. Today's show is sponsored by Monarch Money. Ever check your bank account and wonder, where did all my money go? Between dining out, online shopping, and entertainment, it's easy to lose track. That's where Monarch Money comes in. Your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money isn't just a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. You can track all your accounts, investments, and spending in one place. So you stop just managing your money and you start building wealth. It comes with all sorts of surprising insights. When I started using Monarch, I realized just how much I was spending on food delivery, and now budget smarter, save more, meal prep, all those good things. And it also comes with all-in-one convenience. Instead of juggling multiple apps, you can just use Monarch to track your finances. Only one app to check finances, track spending, and even plan long-term goals. It comes with all sorts of easy collaboration as well. Managing your money with your partner is now smoother than ever. You can track shared and personal accounts, set goals, and stay on the same page without the stress. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONMLB for half off your first year. And today's show is also sponsored by Supply House. Get the supplies you need from the site that's made for the skilled trades. Supply House, whether you're in plumbing, HVAC, or electrical work, Supply House is the reliable way to order products online. Their easy-to-use website is jam-packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Plus, with a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from 400-plus top brands, you'll find exactly what you need delivered fast from coast to coast. Need help with an order? Supply House offers expert support and industry-leading service, so you'll always talk to a real person. And for trade pros looking for an extra edge, their free Trade Master program offers exclusive perks like a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. And did I mention It's free. Thousands of skilled professionals are already taking advantage, and now it's your turn. Join the TradeMaster program today at supplyhouse.com/TM and start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. Plus, use promo code SH5 for 5% off your first order. That's SH5 for 5% off your first order. Supplyhouse.com. Welcome back to the Locked On Giants postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel, and today, the Giants, a great comeback win. The Devil Magic is just in full force, and they are just riding this wave of Devil Magic to 7 consecutive wins. Now, the one-run win streak comes to an end, but the overall win streak stays intact. That's the important one. 7 in a row. It's, as I said earlier, their 20th comeback win of the season, and the Giants, thankfully, have staved off becoming the second team to lose multiple games to the Colorado Rockies this season. There's only one team so far that's lost more than one game to the Rockies, and that is the Miami Marlins. So you don't want to be on that list with the Marlins, and the Giants have avoided that. If they manage to go the whole year only losing one game to the Rockies, I will be pretty surprised. But for now, it's a good thing to avoid that, at least until after the All-Star break. You know what I mean? And the Giants, today, it was not smooth. It was not easy. It was not clean. I saw a comment right as soon as I checked the chat. My guy Juan saying Encarnacion pissed me off today, and man, did he piss me off too, because the Rockies scored 2 runs because, well, one of them would have scored anyways, but he just dropped an easy one from Tyler Fitzgerald. I mean, that is as routine gets at first base. Immediately started pining for some Dom Smith playing time at first base. I did after that error by Encarnacion, and we did get some Dom Smith playing time, and lo and behold, he came up with a hit and a run in this one, and also played some great first base. And I really am enjoying watching Dom Smith play defense at first base, which is not something I ever thought I would be talking about on the show, but it's I think Dom Smith has been a nice little fill-in. Yes, are they still weak at first base? Yeah, but is that kind of the best option that they have right now? I think it is. I said earlier today on Twitter, which seemed to ruffle some feathers, that I think the Giants should trade Kyle Harrison. I think that, and not necessarily just Kyle Harrison, and I'm not saying that because I hate the guy or I think he's bad or anything like that. I actually think Harrison's pretty solid, especially for a 23-year-old. I think you could get a decent return for him. And I think that the Giants should try to balance out the just enormous amount of pitching that they have with some more bats. And I think Harrison just kind of makes the most sense for them to trade. But if you were to go trade an arm, let's just say any of these young Giants pitchers, and you wanted to go get someone out there, who would it be? For me, it's got to be O'Hearn from the Orioles at this point, because he can play a little bit of right field. He can play a little bit of first base. He is also having the best season of his career at the age of 31. So that is a little concerning to me. He is definitely punching above his weight right now, and the price is as high as it's ever going to be for O'Hearn. But there's not too many other good options out there. Maybe a Rhys Hoskins. I've beat the drum for Rhys Hoskins on this show plenty of times before. But ultimately, are either of those guys going to really give you a huge lift over Dom Smith? The way that he's been playing, which I don't expect him to keep up for the rest of the season, but I don't really think that they're going to be a huge enough upgrade for you to maybe go out and pull the trigger to specifically go get a first baseman. For me, if the Giants are going to make a trade, I want them to go get a third outfielder that can be a bona fide starter, not just this year, but in the future as well. It's got to be a guy that's either willing to come back after their contract expires and re-sign with the Giants, or it's got to be a guy under team control for at least the next 2 seasons. And that's what I would hope that they do. I don't think that they're going to do this, but that's what I would hope that they do as the trade deadline gets closer. But before we get on out of here for this one, we only got 1 minute left in the show, man, but we got to talk a little bit about Robbie Ray, because this guy, even though he did not get the win today, and it wasn't his best day on the mound of the season, as far as Robbie Ray starts go, this one was pretty mediocre compared to the rest of his season. Only 4 innings pitched, gave up 6 hits, and 4 runs scored, although only 2 were earned because of errors in this one. That Encarnacion error allowed the run to score, and also the runner who reached base on that play ended up scoring himself later on. So that was a rough one, but still, Robbie Ray's ERA sitting at a 2.55. He had 5 Ks today, did have 2 walks as well. So 8 base runners over 4 innings. That's not ideal. but Robbie Ray did his job today. He kept the Giants close enough to win this game. And Tristan Beck also did a pretty good job. He did give up those 2 runs, but I think he was left out there a little bit too long. I know Melvin is looking at this Dodgers series coming up, and he's trying to get all he can out of his bullpen arms, but I think you got to start going and getting these long relievers after maybe like 2 innings or 2 innings and a batter kind of situation. I thought Beck was just left in there a little bit too long. Ultimately, doesn't really hurt the Giants because they still come out and win this game. And last thing we got to talk about, not Tyler Rogers, because he was just fine today. He did his normal thing. 1 inning, gave up a hit. Other than that, clean inning, 1.44 ERA. He's a stud. Camilo Doval had some issues today. Gave up a bomb, gave up a couple hits. He walked a guy. This is the Camilo Doval that kind of gave you concern last season. So, I mean, this was what he looked like before he started to really implode. And it was in similar situations where Camilo Doval was coming in for in non-save situations just to get some work. And he doesn't perform well in these situations. But I think when it really fell apart for him last year, the Giants were up like 12 to something in a game, and they ended up winning. And I think it was like 12-5 or 12-3, something like that. And Doval gave up a bunch of runs in that 9th inning, had to get yanked, and the Giants ended up pulling out the win. But after that game, Doval was never the same. So I don't want to see Camilo Doval in any more non-save situations. You got so many other guys that you can go to. You can Randy Rodriguez is sitting right there, man. Like just let Randy throw. He's fine in any situation. He's proven that over and over and over again. He's just got nerves of steel and can just handle any situation you throw him into. Camilo Doval, he's like a thoroughbred horse. You know what I mean? Like, you aren't going to ride that horse bareback out in the woods. You're going to put that horse on the track and only on the racetrack. And that's what Camilo Doval is. He's a thoroughbred horse. Only put him on the racetrack. Only put him in safe situations when he's got the adrenaline pumping and everything's on the line before the overwhelming tidal wave of self-doubt hits him in situations where he comes in where it's not a safe situation and he doesn't have that adrenaline ramped up and he's missing his spots. And then by the time that it is a safe situation, he's drowning, and you can't let him continue to do that. You got to only use Doval in save situations going forward. You got so many other guys that you can use. Don't keep using Doval in non-save situations. It's just not smart. It's just not smart. That is all the time that we have for you guys today. By the way, right before we get on out of here, one last note. Giants 4 for 10 with runners in scoring position today. That will do it. That's all the time that we got for you guys here on the Locked On Giants postcast. This team, the Devil Magic, is strong with this one. 7 wins in a row, and they're looking for the sweep tomorrow as the Giants finish off this series against the Rockies. Day game tomorrow, so make sure you got those alarms set early for the Giants game, and make sure you hop on to the Locked On Giants postcast afterwards, and to make sure to check out our Locked On Giants daily show for more in-depth coverage. Ben Kaspick always does a great job. That's all the time we got for you guys today. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Peace.